Good evening and thank you for joining me again. My name is Duncan and I have the privilege of sharing just a brief reflection with you tonight at the end of the day. We come in our journey through the Beatitudes to Matthew chapter 5 verse 9. And I want to read it to you both from the New Revised Standard Version, which is my version of choice in English, and from the paraphrase written by Eugene Peterson. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And Eugene Peterson's paraphrase: you're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. There's a difference, between being a peacekeeper and a peacemaker. A peacekeeper avoids conflict. A peacemaker can't. A peacekeeper tries to soothe the waters and make everybody happy. A peacemaker recognizes that sometimes difficult things have to be said. We are not called as Christians to be peacekeepers. We're called to be peacemakers, to be people who build bridges for others to find each other. And there's something about being a peacemaker which is a beautiful part of our spiritual lives. Remember the journey that we're making through the Beatitudes, and this sense of the spiritual walking, the stepping stones from beginning by recognizing that we are pure in spirit to entering into all that God has for us. And here in this stage, having yesterday explored what it means to be pure in heart, to see God for who he is, to be at peace with ourselves, our deepest desire that flows out of that is that we long for people to be in right relationship with God. We want the world to be in right relationship with him, and that means we become peacemakers. I think that's probably why Jesus uses the promise here that we will be called children of God, because we are most Christ-like. We are most like God when we are seeking to connect people to one another, to heal hearts, to bring a sense of hope and unity and purpose to people's lives. We can't give them that unity. We can't create that purpose. That's condescending. It's colonial. It's imperialistic. But we can invite people into a relationship that is at peace with God, at peace with ourselves, and at peace with one another. And we reflect Jesus Christ, the Son of God, powerfully when we become peacemakers. When we are people who are willing to build bridges. And it strikes me that one of the deep challenges of building a bridge is that it gets walked on. And if we in our lives are to become the bridges that create peace for people, that help them move from a place of trouble to a place of peace, from a place of discord to a place of stillness, then it might involve us being walked on. Maybe we'll be misunderstood. Maybe we'll be misrepresented. Maybe we'll be laughed at. Maybe we'll be mocked. But in the end, it might just be worth it to see people come to terms with who they are, come to terms with the God that loves them, and come to terms with their place in the world. The absence of peace in the world is not about military conflict. It's not about the violence that happens between nations. It's not about violences in churches. The absence of peace is something that affects every home, every family, every life, and every person. God's promise of peace scripturally is not simply the absence of conflict. It is the presence of hope. It's not simply that we get along. It is instead that we are rooted in better soil. We have a purpose and a meaning and a significance to our life that is not rooted in circumstances or what goes on around us, but instead is rooted in our identity in God as his children. Perhaps that's why Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And I love Peterson's idea that we are called to show people how to cooperate instead of competing or fighting. And when we do that, we discover who we are and our place in God's family. There's too much competition. There's too much fighting. There's too much comparison. There's too much one-upmanship. A dear friend of mine who died some years ago used to say this to the congregation that he led: there's enough fighting in the world without you bringing it into the church. There's enough gossip in the world without you bringing it in here. There's enough competitiveness and aggression outside without you adding it in our midst. Tonight, may you find peace where you are troubled, and may you become a person who helps others to find peace where they are troubled too. May you find grace, strength and hope. And if your life is feeling chaotic at the moment and all around you is conflict, May you know the presence of God bringing the peace that comes with it, and may you become part of the solution rather than part of the problem. Here's my night blessing for this evening. May you be given the gift of trusting that you can leave today with all of its accomplishments and frustrations in God's hands. That somehow your whole journey will one day make sense. That your tomorrows are held in the hands of a God who is faithful always. God bless you.
What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. What needless pain we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful, who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in Are we weak and heavy laden? Come but with a load of care. Precious